Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Lost Legends TV. We are
Rated MC.
And he's James.
And he's Ray.
So we are going to review episode 6 of our favorite show, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Brought to you by Amazon Prime.
Before we get into this, again, if you've been watching this with us, you're probably disappointed. The few of y'all that are out there that are just like really into this show, I praise you. In the sense of, like, if you're able to watch this and like, I've had things where I've watched stuff before, like in my own setting and like felt like I enjoyed it. Not in the sense of people trying to tear it down, but they pointed out things when I went back and looked at it, I was like, oh, you know what? That's right. I want you to understand when we do these, we're not trying to break this, like we're not trying to tear this show down for you. We're just pointing out things that we've seen from our own perspective that we don't particularly like or don't particularly agree with. So if you enjoy the show, don't take this as this show is trash, you don't need to watch this. If you enjoy it, enjoy it.
More power to you.
More power to you. I told Ray, well, after we watched this, because he watched it while I was at work, I walked to my room, I started it, finished it. Came back, I told him, what was the first thing I said to you?
Worst episode thus far.
I've gone back and I've said it's probably tied between it and episode one. It's toss up in there. I usually try to find something good about every episode. I told him I found one good thing in this episode.
Well, we didn't discuss it earlier, but I found some actual pros in this episode. Not that it really paid off in the end, because if y'all have been following along, after episode 4, I was done.
Yeah.
But we made it this far. I'm already dedicated. I'm gonna finish it, give you my thoughts.
Yeah.
To me, not all was bad. So
yeah. And again, I want to point out some good things in every episode. So I'm going to try and look back and tell you, okay, well, at least I like this, whatever. Starts off, it immediately pisses me off. First thing it does is shows a daylight shot of that bloody machete from the last episode.
Yep.
Then it's like 12 hours earlier, and it cuts back to that bloody machete on the ground. We did not need that. And then apparently the whimpering we had heard was Riley, who was in water for whatever reason.
They didn't even show how that came about either.
No, she was like in a sewer drainage pipe, and she, like, maybe she dove in there to like
dodge the pump.
I guess. But she was in that, and it made no sense. And then it showed Dylan running from the shotgun, which I get. But then it also showed Lennon leaving, and like, we already knew she made it home safe.
Same thing with Margot.
The same thing with Margot. See, at the end of the day, we did not know if Dylan had made it safe, and we did not know that Riley had made it safe.
Yeah.
You showed us at the end of the episode Margot and Lennon in bed together.
They're good.
So we know they're good. So why are you showing this to us? Literally, Lennon gets a cut in her hand. Margot steps like barefoot on something. I don't even know if she stepped on something and I hurt her foot, or just the fact that she stepped in mud
or something
and messed her up. Because they didn't really like point it out. And then it shows Riley getting out. And she texts everybody, hey, we're good. And then she sees a truck. She's like, oh, cool. Tries to wave it down. Of course, it's the motherfucking truck of whoever's trying to kill these motherfuckers.
Yep.
And I immediately was like, bro, I swear to fucking God.
And we said at the end of our last review, there's one thing you better not do. And guess what happened?
There's other shit that played into the factor of it. But so basically this truck chases her down. She keeps avoiding it in different areas. I don't know how it keeps coming up in these different areas unless it's two different people. She thinks she's escaped it. She texted everybody, like I said, she texted them all that were good. She goes to pull her phone out, and she looks, and she gets hit by the truck. Not like a full-on, like they were driving at full fucking speed, and they hit her, and like it fucking killed her instantly or anything. It just knocked her to the ground.
Probably nothing knocked the breath out of her. Sure.
Yeah. So she gets up, and she hides behind a tree, really close to the truck. She calls her mom, who's my least favorite character in the whole fucking show.
Riley's behind this tree, right? And she calls her mom. She's texting her, help.
She called her first.
Help, yeah. And she calls her, it's like, Mom, I need your help. Courtney's just on the porch drinking and watching these two motherfuckers fight.
Her and Kelly are betting on this fight between these two dudes.
And then she's just like, oh, she butt dialed me. And just threw the phone down. Before this, and this is the part I liked, right? Before we jump in any further. I didn't want this to happen. And if you've seen the episode, you know where we're going with this.
Yep.
But the sequence that played out, I agree with you. We didn't need a screen time of Margot and Lennon trying to make it out. We didn't need that. But the sequence, like the action sequence of Riley running away from the truck,
was good.
I liked that. I was like, okay, I'm sucked in. This fucking sucks. I don't want this, but maybe, it'll turn out. No, it didn't happen. She gets hit by the truck, and as much as I love Riley's character, She does the stupidest fucking thing arguably I've ever seen on the show.
She hides behind a tree that's not that far from the truck. You could probably bend around the corner and still, like, you can still see the lights.
Look, she's mobile. It's not like she's limping or nothing. I mean, she's hurt from the fucking impact, but she's mobile. And she just stands there on the phone. Killer's not going to get out of the truck. So, of course, she gets a fucking machete to the fucking chest.
Granted, when it happens, like, okay, she's immediately dead. But it didn't go through her heart. So I get it. She gets stabbed in the chest, falls to the ground. Killer chops her arm off.
Yeah.
Her left arm, like not the full arm, but like about through the forearm. And then she goes limp. And the killer drives off. The killer even pokes her, which is stupid.
With a boot.
Because he could have like legit checked.
Because here's the thing. I'm not sure if that was a thing for... Because one thing I did throughout the show was like, see if I saw those boots. There's only one person wearing boots in this whole show in this episode. I'm not sure if you paid attention.
I did.
After that,
it cuts back to her, and she's awake. She's alive. She, whatever, right? Cuts to Courtney, and this episode for a minute was Courtney fucking heavy.
the thing she says.
The thing she says, like about your daughter, like God dang. She wakes up and she's like, Riley, how come I don't smell fucking coffee?
Pushed you out of my vagina. It's the least you can
do is make some coffee. She goes out there. She doesn't even attempt to make coffee.
I'm like, bitch.
She just opens the fridge and drinks something.
It's the beer. She's like, fuck it. I guess I'll finish this beer off, even though I got a hangover.
And she's talking about some crazy bitch spilled wine on me, so I took your jacket. It's not my fault. And then apparently, because this room, like this house they have is like fucking small. Riley's bed is literally just like these curtains around an actual bed.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe a twin at the best. But they're like white. So you could see if there was a body on the bed. She opens it up and her first thought is, at least someone got lucky last night. The fucking dude did what?
I know they're all adults at this point. You can just tell she lives that lifestyle. Like, oh, you got fucked last night? Props to you, babe. It's kind of fun. I wouldn't do that to my child.
But she apparently is worried. Which, to her credit, I will give her that. She at least starts acting like a fucking parent. She still acts shitty as a person, but at least starts trying to be a parent.
So she gets really worried. And one thing I didn't understand, okay, she goes to the police, right? Mm-hmm. She goes to Lila, talks to Lila, the female officer. Bruce is fucking. She's like, hey, my kid's missing. And I understand where Lila's coming from. How long should she be gone? Just overnight. Which I can understand, 48 hours, blah, blah, blah. She's not having that. She's like, fuck you. If anything happens to my child, all you're going to wish you was dead.
I'll give her credit for that. At least that was a parent thing.
I mean, she's taking steps to be a lovable mother, in a sense. Because after that, she goes to Bruce. Again, Bruce is fucking Lila's like, hey, Bruce, Riley's gone. I can't find her. And everybody keeps asking, she keeps aggravated because they keep asking her, have you tried calling her? Well, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Which is a plot hole in this, which I'll get to.
Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense. Yeah, do you think I'm a fucking idiot? Why do I keep asking me that, okay? So Bruce says, yeah, I'll talk to Lila.
I started to give her credit because you can see her breaking down as a parent.
Okay, you told. I know what you're saying now. I forgot about it.
She's like legit crying. I had this feeling that something's wrong. Like when you know your child is sick, and I'm worried about it. So that's when Bruce is like, yeah, I'll talk to Lila for you. I got you. And she was talking about how she couldn't afford to lose her. Like Bruce is like, I know the feeling. And she was like, as soon as that, I was like I said, I was giving her credit, and then she just turns her head and she's like, at least she had one to spare, and then walks off. Who the fuck says that shit?
Well, I don't know if she has just a problem. I know this is just a character, right?
Yeah.
But does she not know the common mutual society standards of how you talk to people?
Apparently not.
Apparently not. After that, she's driving, and somehow she dings Riley's phone.
Riley texted her.
Yeah.
And then texted her address, too.
Okay, and this is what didn't make sense to me. It's the biggest plot hole in the episode to me. She's driving down. As we stated before, she says she's called Riley twice, right? Or at least multiple times, because she went to the police station about it, Bruce. And then she gets this text like, help. And the way I took it, like, she just now saw all of her messages. She's like, oh shit, let me turn around. Which makes no sense. Like, did you just now see these fucking messages when you've been calling your daughter all morning? It makes no sense. No. She turns the fuck around. She goes to the where the ping GPS is, and she's got to go like under this fence. She walks through there, and she makes her presence known like, hey, I'm not fucking scared of you, whoever's out there. And she calls out for Riley, calls out for her.
Nothing.
To no avail. But she texts her. And with luck, Riley's phone goes off. However, Riley does not have that phone.
Nope.
It's sitting in his feed trough.
In front of a goat.
In front of a goat. So she walks over there.
Did you steal this from her, you goat bastard? Like,
okay. So she picks the phone up, and this is one of the mutual things me and James like about this episode.
this is the best part of the episode.
So she picks the phone up, and it's booby trap. I'm not sure how exactly to explain it, but when she picked it up, it was tied to this string thing.
This metal rope. Like, it's basically like a fucking...
It was tied to like a backhoe.
Kind of like a barbed wire situation.
It wrapped around her neck, and it fucked her up.
And
it drug her across the fucking field and up and hung her. Like, so deep, her fucking neck, like, you saw the aftermath, was like fucking gashed in.
And blood and like all that. This is the best kill of the show so far.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing close is like the coach's death. While all this is going on, we're getting flashes of Riley, who's alive. She's stumbling around, trying to get out, trying to find her way to anywhere. Part of this episode that I fucking hated. How Margot, Lennon, and Dylan act. Lennon and Margot get up or whatever, and Bruce is wanting to talk to Lennon. Margot's like, no. Oh, buddy Ken walks by. I think he's eating like a bowl of cereal or some shit.
The bodyguard, man.
He's a bodyguard. So, like, we got a problem here? Nah. Get the classic Bruce freak out where, like, at the car, he just, like, fucking slams the door like 30 fucking times.
That ain't gonna help the case.
It's not, bro.
Somebody peeking outside of it.
Exactly.
Control yourself, man. You're 30.
After Dylan had talked to Courtney, he went to talk to them. Like, what happened? And they're all freaking out because they think that she might be dead or whatever. They don't know that actually happened to her. Because, like, well, we got the text. And then Margot goes off on Dylan. Why the fuck would you even say some shit like that? Like, but Margot took it as, he must be the killer. They also got these dings on their phone. And they go to the cliff. And it said, bye-bye, rah-rah. And they're like, oh, my God. And they start freaking out. It's like, we're here to watch. Watch what? You literally looked up for the cliff. There's nothing there. Like, if they'd cut back and there's like, oh, somebody dumping her ass in the water, cool. Okay. Nothing happened there.
And there was this point where they all freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, and like, Dylan just throws his fucking phone.
Like, what happened? Like, nothing happened. Before we move on, that's another thing I keep saying in this. They keep adding these fucking dead-end scenes. In the context of what's going on, and in this episode, that scene doesn't contribute to anything.
Of course, we also get flashbacks to the fucking party.
Oh, yeah.
At least in these, I respected it. It was Riley going through the party, and for the most part, we didn't hear the same fucking song. Yeah. It was a different song. So I was like, all right, cool. It's a different section of the party that's at least better.
And I'm with you, like, this section, I actually like that we got this flashback.
Dylan really just sees her as a friend. And it's so heartbreaking how they do that shit. Dances with Lennon, then Margot calls her a hoe. And I feel like the only reason Margot called her a hoe was because she was into Lennon and she was dancing sexually with Lennon. And her and Dylan walking and talking and all this stuff. And again, he's talking to her like a best friend would. And she's kind of responding in more of a, I want to be more than friends situation. Yeah. She says she wants to go to the bouncy castle. And again, the bouncy castle apparently was for sex. They get in there, they're legit bouncing around. Just bouncing around and they're talking and everything. She kisses him. She initiates this shit. He tells her it's not, like, he won't explain nothing. He's just like, I'm sorry, whatever. And that's when she does that freak out. She's like, I hope you're not waiting for Allison. She's never going to fuck you.
And then she says, man, what she says bursts my heart.
She had said, like, I don't want you to be a loser for college. Implying that she wanted to have sex with him so that he wouldn't be a virgin. Because he ends up losing his virginity to Lennon that night anyway. Yeah. I don't want you to be a virgin when you go to MIT, which is the college he was going to. Once he, like, bounces out, she's, like, crying. And she's like, because I was saving myself for you. It's like, God dang, bro.
What makes that worse is Dylan was already gone when she said that.
Yeah.
Like, he done walked away, so she's just sitting there crying. I'm sad for Riley.
Exactly.
Now it's just, it's like, fuck.
So, like, that happens. Also, there was a point where Dylan and Lennon were going to look for Riley. Margot couldn't go because she had therapy, and her mom says there's no excuses. You have to go. In this situation, if you told your mom, hey, I need to go look for my friend who's possibly missing and could be dead, if she still said no excuses, your mom's a bitch. They're talking, they're having conversations about all these different childhood memories and shit, making jokes because they found a clown shoe, which is a very weird thing to see on the fucking side of the road.
And a big-ass bra.
A big-ass bra. Like, Dylan's like, oh, she was probably dating the clown. They're laughing. They're having fun. They hear a noise, they think it's a person, so they're like, oh, it's Riley, you okay? And it's not Riley, it's the fucking dog. And the dog is chewing on her arm, her severed arm. So they immediately go that she's dead, and they go back to the house, and this is after Courtney had died and everything. They stop fucking looking. Legit.
Cold turkey.
Cold turkey. Like, they never look for her again. Not a single fucking time.
And if you remember, we forgot, there was a scene before we mentioned Courtney punched Dylan in the stomach, right? But while he was driving to his house, he was going up the road, and Riley was right there.
Yeah.
And you saw Dylan's truck in the background. Yeah, but they're on this tiny island. Just the three of them alone can cover some ground. I get not splitting up. Go in pairs of two.
Again, they stop looking. They go back to the house and like, well, if we stay here.
With the arm. And that's when Margot insinuates that Dylan's the killer.
Yeah.
Evidently, Margot's dad has this fucking arsenal of fucking weapons in the house because he's gone. And what they want to do now is basically,
Go back to Clara's
house. Look for Riley to make sure she's alive.
He admits to being in the cult.
Yep, at one point, yeah.
At one point. That's how he met her mother, and they were both in the cult. And then she was like, if you tell me right now that Claire is my mother, I'm going to fucking lose it. And he's like, no, but your mother is alive. And she's like, starts freaking out. No, she killed herself. Like, no, that's what she wanted me to tell you. Who tells that? Like, legit, who tells you to tell that up to your fucking kids?
After this conversation is over, we never get a why. They just left that out.
Margot had helped her find him on LinkedIn. She messaged him saying, hey, tell my mom to call me.
If I was Bruce in that situation, shit just hit rock bottom, and I'm still holding on to all this baggage. I know it might not be most people's ideal scenario, but I'd throw it all out there. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's sit down and talk. Let's take care of all this. If you want to hate me afterwards, fine, but you need to know this. And then this ties all back into, again, the very first episode, because that's what the fight was about, and Allison was Lennon. The real Lennon was talking about, which Allison didn't have the context for when they got into a fight, saying, Mom don't really love you. And I think it was in episode 4 when they showed, or 5, when they showed Bruce
having the same argument with
Lennon leaving her on the side of the road. That's what it was about. That's the secret.
And again, at least they're tying this shit in, but I feel like you took way too fucking long to tie this shit in. That he left the real Lennon on the side of the road, and he's like, it's not your fault, it's mine. She says, fuck you, and leaves. And instead of saying Allison, because there's no one around, Dylan and Margot had walked in this house, this huge-ass fucking house that Margot lives in. If they were still in earshot, that's insane.
Well, I think in his mind, Allison, for one, it upsets me because early in the season, I like Bruce.
Yep.
Like, I legit did. Now, I just see he's the biggest piece of shit father there is. Mm. But I think in his mind, not only is Lennon actually gone and Allison has to be Lennon, he wants that. Like, he don't want Allison. He wants Lennon. So he wants to make this a reality no matter what.
This whole time when this is happening, you keep seeing Riley limping around. At one point, she's going to her house. She's literally on the ground crawling to her house. It's dark. And this is when she lays down, and this is when she has that like flashback of her not saying it directly to Dylan, but like how she was saying she was saving herself for him. And again, that's a heartbreaking ass scene.
She tries to yell, but she can't. She keeps yearning, Mom.
So you see that she's trying to yell out, but she can't. The most heartbreaking part of this whole episode to me, and it's only going to be amplified if it's confirmed, and I'm pretty sure you're going to say it is confirmed, is that if Riley is really dead. She's laying there on the ground, fucking feet from her house, and she lives next door to Kelly and Kelly's son, and he comes out screaming, Riri, Rai, and she's like, it's late, you'll see Rai tomorrow.
She's trying to reach her mom. Out of everybody she could have went to or even thought to go to, she's still trying to go to her mother. Who's the worst fucking mother I've ever seen.
And then what happens is somebody walks up on the body. At one point, I thought maybe it was Dylan. And the reason I thought maybe it was Dylan because they all decided to stay at Margot's house because of the alarms and shit. Nobody can get into the house. Margot was against Dylan staying, but Lennon wanted him to stay because it's a group. Let's keep the group together. You're saying this even though you didn't go look for the other part of the group and just said fuck it, basically. Yep. Dylan leaves. And this is where Margot's trying to amp it up more that it's probably Dylan as the killer. Why would he throw his phone? I thought Dylan walked up on the body. Like, maybe he found Riley. But I immediately remembered if that was the case, he wouldn't have just walked up to the body. He would have walked up and said, Riley? Like, freaked out. Who was it? Clara. They've had an APB out for most of this episode because Courtney dies like halfway through. They put an APB out on her immediately and one on Riley.
I know I'm not saying much about this, but again, I lost hope for the episode, and you took away the one fucking character that was just holding me on that one last thread to keep watching the show. It's just fucking heartbreaking because, like you said, they dragged this shit out. We got to sit here and watch Riley suffer. The fucking police don't give a fuck. The only person who's looking for Riley still is Dylan, and he's nowhere to be seen until we see him in a fucking cave.
And he's carving her name in the rock, so he immediately thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
He sees this hole in the cave. And this is apparently where Clara has either been hiding out or also where she's been, like, how she's able to see people doing all this other shit in the fucking caves. He goes to this little section. He sees all this shit in there. I'm not going to break down everything that was in the fucking cave. It was a fucking cave. And it was just like, there was lighting and all this other stuff, which you can't see from the rest of the cave, which makes no fucking sense.
For some reason, there was a shit ton of honey. Hanging from the walls, jars, shit ton of honey.
She comes in, dragging Riley's body.
She looks at Dylan. Dylan does not say a word. And she says...
The tide's coming in.
Tide's coming in.
And it ended.
I know what's going on here. I mean, Dylan could be the killer, but it's a reach. I'm talking about fucking Space Jam reach.
Dylan and Clara have been working together, which they both have the black trucks, all this other stuff. Clara might have some shit tie, some fucking weird ass tie because of the cult to fucking Allison and them, and then, or maybe just Dylan was like, fuck it, she can help me get rid of these people. She also has a black truck. It's inconspicuous or some bullshit like that.
No matter where this road goes, it's a bad decision. And even if Dylan's not the killer, which I don't think he is.
I don't either.
It's a red herring. You can clearly see that it is. Even if it's not, that makes it even worse. But even if
it's
it is,
too obvious. That's why.
You keep pushing Dylan in the suspicious red zone. He ain't been there the whole show. I don't know. Point fingers at Bruce or fucking somebody else. Let my mind wander a little bit. You keep doing repetitive shit. You keep pointing fingers at the same people. Keep bringing up these scenes that don't make no sense. These scenarios like we've been here before. This cliffhanger, we felt this way before with Dylan, with Clara. It's already happened. This ain't nothing new.
I had hope longer than Ray did, but I've lost my hope. I had hope that they would at least turn it in the right direction to where maybe they could be like, oh, well, it's getting better, and then season 2 will come around, and season 2 will keep moving up.
Well, even, it's never too late, right?
It's never too late.
Because you could have, if there's 8 episodes, you could have 7 shitty fucking episodes, but you still got that 1 hour to improve things. Like, it's never too late. And that was my hope with Riley. Like, her character had potential in the show. She's the only character that I really give a fuck about her backstory. You made me hate her mom, not only because of her character alone, but how she treated Riley and how all her fucking friends treated her like shit. You made me care about her and Dylan, like their chemistry.
And that's the thing. Like, she's a drug dealer. If I just told you that she was a drug dealer, you'd be like, oh, it's probably not a character I would fuck with.
Let's talk about the other remaining characters before we close this up, right?
Okay.
Lennon. Allison. Her character's all over the place. I don't give a fuck. At this point, what she does, what she don't do, if she gets killed, I don't give a fuck about her character.
Early on, the character Allison, I liked her. I liked Lennon because at first it was Lennon, and then it turned out to be Allison. She was shy and introverted, and her sister was basically just a shitty person, so I felt for her and everything. But she's not really doing anything.
She's not even trying to be Lennon no more. Not for real.
No, she's kind of just acting like her.
Yeah. That's going to come to light soon, I'm sure.
Has to.
Let's talk about Dylan. Okay, Dylan, they're only using Dylan as a suspect. I mean, yeah, you threw in the fucking Raleigh chemistry there, which I loved.
But because he's not feeling her and everything, that's fine.
That's fine, but, I mean, Riley's, basically dead. I mean, she has to be. Bleeding out for fucking 24 hours.
If she's not, I'll still be happy.
Yeah.
It won't make fucking sense, but I'll be happy because at least she kept her alive.
They're only using Dylan as a red herring. Like, that's his sole purpose at this point. And Margot, she came from where she started, she's came a long way as a character. I still don't feel like at the end of the day, if it came down to it, she would be the kind of person like Riley would to sacrifice herself or be a lead character. If, like, let's say if Allison got killed at the fucking 8th episode, I feel like Riley would be the perfect final girl for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like Margot's that kind of character. And she's so wishy-washy about shit. You kill off the only character I gave a fuck about. When I watched this and I saw everything that happened, I legit got sad. Like, I'm literally upset about it. And it's not... I can watch a great movie and not be upset about something that happened, right? But that's the thing about a TV series. Like, you get more chemistry with a character. And she's the only one who broke through that barrier. Like, I want to see this character through all 8 episodes. But instead, at least she made it this far. At least she didn't get fucking nicked off at like 3 or 4 or some bullshit.
And at least semi-credit for the show, because you at least made us care about a character. I'm holding on to this small little string of fucking hope that's like you could fucking cut with like a sharp breath. Even worse to me in this situation is the way that Dylan acted when she pulled up with the body. You were suspicious of her. So if you saw her, it should have been a different reaction.
He had no reaction.
None.
Again, I'm sure it's a red herring, but if that was me and the person that I thought killed my best friend, I'm going at that bitch. Even if she takes
at least
with
say
him.
something. If he just said you bit, or they cut him off or something, like, at least that's some drama, some tension. Like, shit. Okay, maybe the next episode he's gonna start off and then they're fucking fighting or whatever. It like she pulled your best friend in on a fucking carpet, and all she it wasn't like she pulled her in and immediately turned and was like, Todd's coming in, and it cut. No, she pulled her in, dragged her, stopped, took a breath, looked at him. Todd's coming in.
I'm sure in most of these reviews, guys, we keep saying the same thing, but that's the thing. The things they are doing wrong, in our opinion, they keep doing wrong. And you're taking away the only good things we have left of the show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to watch it no more. I stopped at the 4. Now that Riley's gone, I have nothing left. The only thing I have left
is to find out who the killer is. That's it.
That's all that's left.
That's all I'm here for. If you watch this far again, we got at least 2 more episodes. And here's hoping something new, something good happens in the rest of it. I'm ready to get through with it and be done with it.
Same.
At this point. Thank y'all for watching. Listen to us rant about this fucking awful episode of this shitty show so far. Thank y'all for watching. If you're new, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If you're just watching this and you're not subscribed, if you like our content, subscribe. It helps us out.
And we do other stuff too. We do music reactions.
Yeah.
We rank horror movies. We review horror movies, TV shows. We do gaming stuff. We do challenges. All kinds of stuff.
So if you like that kind of stuff, give us a subscribe. It will really help us out. But until next time, y'all, deuces.
Adios.
Let me tell you how it's about to go. Let me show you the towel you're about to throw. This is hip-hop, try to run in our house, we'll knock your ass straight out the door. I'm the enemy's epitome, the fantasy, my tendency to mentally give your career the death penalty. I instantly advise you to match my intensity, try to fit my brain like Jackie Kennedy. I'm so tired of the why not, tired of putting MCs in a pine box. You motherfuckers couldn't even hit me in my blind.